Sharma es doctor en Ingeniería y Políticas Públicas. Durante su carrera profesional ha trabajado en posiciones de alto perfil y liderazgo en la India y ha manejado asuntos relativos al desarrollo en áreas tales como educación, lucha contra la pobreza, desarrollo urbano, agricultura, gestión medioambiental e infraestructura. Desde septiembre de 2006 es director y consejero general y de proyecto del Centro para el Buen Gobierno en Hyderabad, India.
I would say that monitoring and evaluation in India is very old, but the methods are changing. It is increasing in importance mainly because of huge public spending. These are welfare, education, health, and so on. And government in India also provides both at federal level to conduct evaluation studies in projects. As far as the budget is concerned on monitoring and evaluation, as I said, there is a dedicated ministry which does this job in Government of India. The exact budget of this ministry that goes into establishment and monitoring and evaluation would be not less than $30 to $40 million. And each state government, India has 28 states, and there also each of them would be spending $10 to $15 million per year. I think we would land up spending maybe $500 to $600 million only in the government sector on monitoring and evaluation. We have main stakeholders mainly comprising of citizens, activists. For example, we have a system of having a comptroller and auditor general. Then we also have a very strong press. So the media is also interested in the monitoring and evaluation studies. Then we have the government officials, and therefore the stakeholders comprise of people from different segments of society and government administration. There are various programs in which the stakeholders have a direct stake. The program is meant for them, and they are both on supply side as well as the demand side. Or the government department which is implementing a program, and on the demand side would be the stakeholder, the citizen, the recipient of that government service. For example, if there is a housing program with public funding, then those people for whom the houses are to be constructed, they are the direct stakeholders in the program, and the housing department of the government which is constructing the houses is also a stakeholder from the supply side. So I would say that when you do monitoring and evaluation, this is program specific, and the stakeholders are chosen depending upon the structure of the program as to how it is going to benefit, whom it is going to benefit, and who are the actors involved in the program implementation. When you choose a stakeholder who is interested in a particular service or a particular program which is being implemented by the government, which directly affects that group of stakeholder, then they would also be interested in the monitoring and evaluation. They would like to know whether things are happening in order, in the nice way. There are a lot of schemes and programs of the government which directly affect the people, and a lot of public funding goes into that program for whom the wage employment is created by this scheme. And if you are involving them in monitoring and evaluation, the whole process gets strengthened because they are not just the third party, but they are directly involved in getting the benefits of the program, and therefore they would like the monitoring and evaluation system to be robust, and they would like to bring out the truth in terms of the implementation and the results which come out of this process. There are many evaluation studies which come out. The range is very wide because India is a large country and we have a three-tier system of the governance. At the top level, we have the federal government, which is the Government of India, then we have the state governments, and then we have the local governments. One process which is very well established is the government budget, and usually this budget is in terms of management by objectives, achieving the results as defined by certain indicators and not merely in terms of the money spent on various things. So annual budgets of the government, that is one method in this range of various instruments of evaluation and monitoring which the country has. Second is annual reports of each department of the government, and these annual reports give an overview of the various activities of that particular wing of the government in terms of the results. To know the progress of a project or a program or any activity. They are project based, and special studies are commissioned for this purpose involving third party agencies. An evaluation based on certain indicators of the programs which are being evaluated. These studies are published, they are in public domain. There is a wide range of stakeholder consultation which goes on at the time of such evaluations. For example, if there is a massive funding given to an irrigation project which is going to create lot of irrigated area, then there will be an evaluation of that through a third party as to what are the results which have come out of it. Or if a national highway is being improved or a new road is being constructed. We have a system of, in our parliamentary democracy, and there are annual and periodical meetings and inspections by these agencies to know what is happening, and that is yet another way of monitoring and evaluation. Then, as I mentioned, there are audit departments of the government who would be looking into what is happening, and that is yet another way of an open system of evaluation of the government. I would say that citizens' participation in governance and bringing the government closer to the people is a very well stated objective of government, and there are community participation laws in force. So the plan activity which goes on also has people's participation as one of the necessary ingredients to the whole process. So we want to go closer to people in a very organized way, and it is legally mandated. So it's not just the elected representative of the people, but the people themselves who can form groups and come directly to the administration to have a dialogue. I would say that the revolutionary thing which has happened in India is the introduction of Right to Information Act. This is a new legislation which is bringing a lot of transparency in the government functioning, and this act is very powerful. It provides for the information to be given in a mandatory way to any citizen of India if this information is asked for. Another very positive aspect of it is that the system provides for a proactive disclosure on the part of department concerned to tell the people on certain points that, look, my department is going to provide you these services, it is meant for doing A, B, C, these are the things that are being done by us. This has helped in changing the policy processes because citizens can raise certain questions. It can change the policy outlook and perception of the government based on their own needs, can undergo a lot of changes in terms of its design, in terms of its objectives, in terms of its funding and so on, depending upon the priorities which people may set or people may demand because they have the information in their hand, kept in public domain through websites, and anyone can access those, and they have helped in changing the program repeatedly in a very ongoing manner so that it is not only citizen friendly, but it also serves the objectives of creating some good assets for the society. I can give you a very interesting example of a new innovative thing which is happening in India. This is known as social audit. Social audit is an exercise where you involve the society in auditing the work of the government, including the accounts. Now, this is one intervention which has been legitimized in the form of a statutory provision in the Act that when the government takes up this National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, now in this, what we do is, we have created a well-trained group of social auditors who come from the people for whom this program is being taken up. Then they cross-check this by going to the actual site or to the villages where these people are residing, and then they come out with irregularities, if any. They also give suggestions on improvement. They also say whether the work which is being done satisfactorily or not. Involving people is helping in having a very good system of monitoring and evaluation, which is not only effective but which is very truthful in bringing out the results. Usually the evaluations are done on annual basis. As I said, we have a ministry which deals with program implementation and managing statistics. They come out with annual evaluations. And then there are ad hoc evaluations which sometimes are conducted during the mid-course, and there is no timeline for those. Then there are things which are involving people, where we like to know from people their feedback, and they are also ad hoc because there are no timelines prescribed for those. As far as capacity building is concerned, there are two kinds of capacities which we need to create. One, from the perspective of the people who are the recipient of the information, that is the demand side, and the other one is supply side. As far as Right to Information Act is concerned, which is the basic model through which all the public data is coming in public domain, which helps in monitoring and evaluation, there are regular budgetary allocations to train people and train the government staff in providing information. How to make use of information is one thing, but how to bring that information out and supply to the people in a relevant and meaningful way so that it satisfies the demand for information is quite the other. And now government, both at the central level as well as the state government level, is training thousands and thousands of government staff in a very timely manner to the people when they need it. There are two things in this. One, there are regular media releases. The information is shared publicly with the media and they are free to ask questions. Second thing is that all the important meetings at the government level open to public media. So the media can cover the entire debate. So the press has a very strong presence. And the first way, as I said, was media releases. So all important publications and reports of the government are regularly released to the media. There are certain standard techniques which are in the nature of firming up the indicators and then obtaining the data from those who are measuring those indicators. So each department has certain performance indicators in government, which are of two types: a process indicator, and there are indicators which are output indicators. So both processes and outputs, they are measured through these indicators. For example, if you have to monitor school education in public sector, you will have a process indicator which would say how many schools have been opened in a particular year, and these information, the findings are shared in a public meeting. It's an open meeting in which anyone can come, so the officials from the government would come, the elected representatives would come, and so on. And they share the findings, it is discussed and debated, everything comes into the open. The health sector programs where we are doing social audit, and in education also we have started doing it. There are examples where community-based works can be better monitored when you involve the community and ask them to track the expenditure. So we know that X amount of money is being spent on, say, 10 kilometers of road. We ask the community to look for questions and answers themselves. and then they can come out with certain facts. They could have said that the labor could have been made available from the village rather than getting it from outside. So there are many dimensions to it which come out when you involve public. When we design monitoring and evaluation system, we should design indicators, we should design systems to get information based on a 360-degree approach. So all the stakeholders who are involved in the program must be carefully brought into the whole system.